Hi, I'm Sug.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the Demystified Zone. More refreshing than pakasti. Hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey.
How goes it today?
It's going well.
You know, we've got a nice color palette going on today.
Yeah.
We're matchers. We got the red.
We got the reds.
Red and we're doing the DPRK. Kind of. Maybe more China.
Yeah.
Yellow skin, red flag.
Maybe Chicago Bulls, maybe. Got a little black and red.
That would be more appropriate, I guess, considering our locale.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking really good today, Dan. I want to say that.
You know, my hair is
It is
at a very good place. My hair drives me crazy.
I know you can't see this, listener, but let me just describe what I see today. This young Asian man with salt and pepper hair. Is this you've got good hair, I got to say. And not a lot of Korean men have great hair. You know, we got to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
We have stiff, straight, co-fro-y hair.
Yeah.
That doesn't behave. Jay, for example, I've never seen his hair. He's always wearing a hat. In fact, today he's wearing a full firefighter's uniform with helmet and everything. You guys won't be able to prove me wrong, but trust me, he just came off shift.
Yeah, just fought a fire.
But he is the perfect demonstration of Korean man with bad hair.
I could take my hat off if you want.
No, leave it on, please. We're both wearing hats. Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you on that because I also am wearing my hat. But Dan, flowing free today.
My hair drives me crazy. There's
don't
no
say
one
that.
who could
Don't say that. We don't have hope. If your hair is driving you crazy, we have no hope.
Dude, my hair sucks. Anyway, yeah.
Well, it
looks good today.
It's brilliant today.
I do affirm that.
It's inspiring me today. That's what's happening there. So, we welcome back Jay. Jay's been out for a little bit, guys. Jay, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
We noticed that you drove in a different vehicle today.
Yeah.
I sold.
Yes.
Yeah, I sold one of my cars.
One of his cars, y'all.
Yeah.
One of many.
Single man to married with no kids. You know, making a transition here, man. You know,
he's not blessed in hair, but he's blessed in other things.
Yeah.
He has multiple cars.
Jay has had the coolest cars, man. The coolest cars.
What's the coolest car you've owned, Jay?
Oh. It's probably a toss-up between the last car.
And your minivan?
No, not my The last car, which was a Mercedes sports car, and then I had a 1997 Nissan 240 SX.
What the heck is that thing? I don't even know. Is this Fast and Furious we're talking about?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a rear-wheel drive.
Is this a
drift
Dom
car?
Toretto car or
No.
Paul Walker car?
It's a Tokyo drift car.
Tokyo drift car, even better. Okay, yeah, here he's pulling up an image. Oh my gosh, look at that thing.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
It looks like Rad Racer. You guys remember Rad Racer?
No.
It's a Nintendo game. Okay, forget it. Forget it. Anyway, enough about Jay.
Yeah.
Let's talk running away.
Yes.
Did you ever run away as a kid, Dan?
Ooh.
Or at least have a plan? Did you ever
Yeah,
formulate?
I ran away.
You did?
I ran away to under my bed.
No,
that's
come
the
on.
extent of it. No.
That's as far as you got, your bed.
Yeah.
Did you even
Wasn't
come up
very
with, but
good.
did you ever
Yeah, of
dream?
course. Yeah.
So what was your plan? What was your genius plan to get away?
It was like we lived next to the woods. I would stay in the woods, live off the land for a little
Just
bit.
100 feet from your house, though?
Yeah. They'll never find me here.
Okay, woods. Step one, go to the woods.
Yeah, go to the woods.
Did you have would you have a bag hidden in the woods, like a go bag?
No. I didn't. I never took it that far. No, I just fantasized about running into the woods. And then I never
That's as far as you got?
Yeah.
The woods?
Yeah. I never entertained the idea of going for a long time. I entertained the idea of scaring my parents.
Yeah, false threats.
Yeah. I'll show them, sort of thing.
But did you ever tell them that it was going to happen?
No,
I'm going to run away.
I did once say, "You don't love me," and my dad's like, "Come on."
Did you say in Korean or English?
In English.
How do you say I'm going to run away in Korean? Jay?
도망갈게야.
Other than you being strictly disciplined after that.
No, they just left.
So yours was just a threat.
Yeah.
You never actually formulated plans.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I had really well thought out plans. I knew exactly what jobs I was going to look for. I was going to go south because I figured southern. I don't know why. Why did I say think south? For some reason, I always wanted to go like through Texas, and I just felt like there are more jobs out there. So I was very concerned about jobs.
Wow.
This is a very immigrant mindset. As a young person, we worked at very young ages.
Yes, we did.
That was our chore, right? Working at the store.
Yeah.
So I always thought like, well, we owned a jewelry store. So I thought, jewelry sells really good in the South. My parents were in the South for a little bit too in Miami. So like, I was like, I could do that. I remember that. I remember that life. I could do that again. It was just about the job. Most of my planning was about a job.
Really? Wow.
And
that's
then,
very practical.
And then on top of it, I would always plan this was like more like homeless planning versus running away. Like if I was ever homeless.
Yeah.
I had this, I'm just remembering this now. That's why I'm laughing. I thought I need to take my suit with me.
Wow.
If I take my suit with me, people will think I'm not homeless. And if I ask for something for free, they'll give it to me. I thought about that.
Wow.
And double, if I needed a job, they would give me. And this is when I was like, I don't even know what suit jobs are.
How old were you?
I don't know, like junior high.
Oh, okay.
Like 12, 13, somewhere around there, 14 maybe. Isn't that the age when you start thinking about running away when you're a teen? Like pre-teen, teen?
I thought about it earlier than that, like in elementary school.
Oh, you had a hard life, huh?
No, I didn't. My parents were
Those
really
siblings
nice
were
to
real
me.
hard. Your sister was real hard on you.
My sister was.
I had 2 older brothers. I didn't think about running away until way later. I probably thought about it beforehand too, but they weren't good plans. It was just like ride my bike around the block. I always thought my dad would catch me very quickly. That's why I thought about like, I need to make sure I get as quick as possible.
Jay, did you ever run away or think about or plan about running away?
I think I've always thought about it, but actually doing it,
no,
probably no.
Yeah.
I mean, I did go to the military when I was 17, so I guess that's.
Did you run away?
Maybe.
Were you running from something?
Maybe I was running from something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, now you're back. You made it back.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We got him back, guys.
Well, today we're going to talk about running away from North Korea. And you hear us, we haven't really talked explicitly about defecting. We had an episode previously with Mingyang about the diaspora and people leaving North Korea, refugees, where they end up. Obviously, Dan lives, works, breathes this subject matter. So for once, we have a subject matter expert. This is the only time you can listen to this podcast and be like, okay,
this guy knows what he's talking about.
They may know what they're talking about. It's a good chance they might be right here. Dan, tell us just very briefly what you do so that the listeners have some context.
Ooh.
Briefly.
Yeah, I work for Crossing Borders, who sponsors this podcast. We help North Korean refugees after they escape.
Shout out to CB.
Yeah.
And where are these refugees going, or where are you helping them get to?
So they first get into China, where we have help for them there, if we're fortunate enough to meet them, and then in South Korea, if they make it out of China, which is difficult.
So it's like this weird loop of leaving your country to get back into your country.
Yeah, very close.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think it's the total journey is like 10,000, 20,000 miles, and then you end up like 50 miles away from your country.
It's like if we escaped Chicago and came back in Detroit.
Yeah.
Or other way around. Detroit's probably worse off. So they're going to go leave
Yeah.
into Canada and come back into Chicago.
Via South America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, so I thought we'd talk about this. Again, we have a subject matter expert with us today and always. So why not? And I came across this article. This was kind of triggered this whole thing for me, was that, and you can find this on the Crossing Borders blog. There was this recent article about how there are brokers taking advantage of desperate defectors. And, you know, you hear about these stories, or at least I've heard of these stories, even for immigrants from South America to America, about how there's so much just very bad people out there taking advantage of those who are just trying to escape or make a better life here in America, or whatever the reason. And obviously this is rampant all throughout the world, but especially here in North Korea. And then we were always talking about how, again, the minders, big brother, always, and big sister and uncle, everyone literally watching your shoulder, or watching you.
Watching your every move.
Yeah, looking over your shoulder in the North Korean society. And it just got me thinking, like, how... And we've heard stories. I've heard many stories of these very bold and daring escapes out of North Korea. But how does one do this? Like, how do you do this? You are in a country that is already limited with information, limited with all these resources. Everything is limited, essentially.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to get out and into a world you've never seen or been in, or even had exposure to. Through media or other means. So, with us today is Dan Chung, and we will be doing the How to Defect from North Korea, step by step, by Dan Chung.
Yeah.
The official. Hopefully, North Korea's not listening right now, so they don't know our secrets.
Yeah.
But we can, or the right North Koreans are listening. They can get some tips.
Yeah.
From someone on the outside.
Yeah, if they're connected to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, they can download this.
If they look for the number 20 North Korean podcast and they happen to Google search that, they will get it.
They'll find it.
They're going to get a gold nugget right here.
Yeah, take it out.
So Dan,
okay,
start us off. What are Dan's steps to defect?
Yep. Okay, so the first thing is like you haven't even left yet. There's a couple things that need to happen or help your chances even before you leave.
Like prerequisites.
Yeah.
Prerequisites before running away. Okay.
Okay. First is be a woman. That's, if you're a woman, you have much more likelihood to be able to successfully leave your country of North Korea. So if you're a man in North Korea, let's say you work at a mine, you're mining coal, but you haven't had the electricity or gasoline to run the equipment to do the mining job. Well, you're out of luck. You still have to show up to work every day, and they'll make you do very menial tasks. All the men are controlled by the government. They're watched. I guess the government thinks they're more important or more dangerous. I don't know the reasoning behind that. But if you're a man and you have a job, which most men do, they have to show up to work. And if they don't, it's like Shawshank Redemption when, they're doing that final roll call and Andy Dufresne does not come out of his cell. Well, that is exactly what happens if a North Korean man does not show up to work. It's like alarms are raised.
North Korea is a communist or based on communist values. I don't know can you call them a communist? What do they model their governance by? Communism, probably closest. So, but under a state like that, do the women get assigned jobs? I mean, they have jobs too, obviously.
Some women have official jobs, but this is this has played out also in the free market system now. Since the famine, North Korea has allowed free market activity, like, farmers markets basically. But all of the people running those stands are women because they're not official positions. And those are now the only money-making enterprises in the country. So, yeah. So the women are like getting way ahead of the men.
Not necessarily a prerequisite, but an advantage.
Oh, huge
advantage. If you were a woman, if you're thinking about defecting and you're a woman, you got a huge advantage over being a dude. Okay. What's that? What else?
Second thing that would really help you before you even think about leaving is get someone to bankroll you.
Okay. Financing.
A financier. A financier. You want, because the journey is dangerous. You need someone to help you get across the border and then get through China and then get through Southeast Asia.
How much money you need? Roughly.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
U.S.?
The equivalent to tens of thousands of U.S. dollars.
20 grand. You need at least 20 grand?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does a North Korean make?
So that's the thing, right? At first, North Koreans, when they get to South Korea, they get that lump sum of money. It's about 20,000 U.S. dollars. So from the jump, a lot of these people will pay back either their financiers or their brokers for the journey, so that you're really starting at zero.
So it's on credit, and it's almost more a risk investment by the brokers to get somebody out, which actually could create some very toxic relationships there.
We'll go through that.
Motivations, right? Okay, well, you got to have a bankroll. What about a bankroll? What does that look like for most defectors? Is that random strangers, or do people pool money locally, maybe to get somebody out, or does
no?
Okay.
You have to talk to a family in South Korea. That's usually how it works these days. Yeah.
But how do you talk to someone in South Korea if you're not allowed to talk to the outside?
Well, you're not allowed to talk to people from the outside. So people are sending remittances. I explained to you what that means.
Explain it again. Explain what that is.
A remittance is like, let's say a North Korean makes it to South Korea and they are making money. There is a way to send money back into North Korea, and that's called a remittance. So anyway, through these remittances, they'll send these messages, right? Like these couple sentence messages, like, hey, it's kind of like we were talking about the collect call and how they said, hey, record your name at the beep. Mom, I'm at the library. It's like you pack in a very short message, rife with meaning, that, hey, I could get you out.
Like, are they writing letters on like the Korean dollar bill?
I don't know.
Like messages on the money itself?
I don't know exactly. That's a good question. I don't know how they're writing the messages.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So get some financing.
Yeah, get some
You need
financing.
an ambassador of Kwan on there.
Exactly.
Or what else? Do we have other prerequisites before we even think about doing this?
It really helps if you don't tell anyone. Yeah, because
that would make sense, though. That's why you can't pool money for somebody.
Exactly.
Got it.
Right. Yeah. So if anyone knows, it could incriminate them, right? So if you love and care for someone, you probably wouldn't tell them that you're leaving.
And you're leaving them behind, too. That's the other thing.
Or you might get a, hey, can I come along, too?
It's like, hey, friend, meet me here. I have something really important to tell you. And they're like, wait, you're taking me with you, right? No, I just want to tell you. Why would you do that to me? Sorry.
Yeah, so you don't want to incriminate a friend or loved one. You also don't want anyone to like get you in trouble. Too.
Yeah, people goss.
Yeah.
They're just going to be talking that up.
I mean,
did you hear about Dan? He's getting out of here.
North Korea is they've formed a society around ratting each other out.
Yeah,
so
yeah. We've talked about
they've
that.
They've incentivized that. So.
That's the whole note-taking system on each other for your betterment of Songbun.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, we got preferences. Better to be a woman, or higher chances if you're a woman. Get yourself a bankroll. Don't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody.
What else? We haven't even left yet. We haven't even stepped foot out the door. We're still in our home thinking about this, and we got a long list of things to do.
I would say, you know, I don't know. You have to be somewhat in shape too, as you'll see later.
I mean, what kind of shape are we talking about? Like, well, just not sickly. Like your health has to be good. We're talking about we got to be like
Let's go through
CrossFit
this
shape.
later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow. We got some foreshadowing here. All right. So, any other prerequisites before we actually get to?
No, I think that's
all right.
The major one.
Let's talk about John Kim. He's got. I'm sorry, Joanna Kim.
Joanna. Yeah.
She has a bankroll. Someone in South Korea. She hasn't told anybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a job. She's got a report to. She's ready to go. What do we do now?
So you have a broker. So the bankroll is to hire a broker, right? It's a very risky proposition, as we said.
Okay.
So with your broker, the brokers, a lot of them are able to come in and out of North Korea for commerce.
Who are these brokers? Are these North Koreans, Chinese, South Koreans?
Yeah, mostly ethnically Korean Chinese people. Chosunjok is their called.
North Korean Chinese?
Yeah, some.
Okay.
Yeah. They're referred to as hwagyo. I don't know exactly what that means. But
that's like the broker?
The people who are, no, the Chinese Koreans who are
I'm
come
sorry.
in and out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, and is there a Yellow Pages ad for these guys? Or like,
no, you're probably receiving money from them. It's all related.
They're already maybe supplying your town. They're the town hookup.
With
DVDs and K-pop.
Yeah, they're like Red in Shawshank Redemption.
Got it.
Guy who knows how to get things.
Guy who knows how to get things. Got it. Okay, so you got these brokers.
Yeah.
You probably have had, so you just have to have like a conversation and be like a silent conversation. Like,
very careful conversation.
I'm looking for laundry, Chinese laundry, if you get my drift.
Yes, I do understand that you need Chinese laundry.
I would love some cigarettes from South Korea. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you know, like, what are those conversations? Like, let me ask this first. Will Joanna need to be making those conversations, or does their bankroll or like connections in South Korea or China do that for them? Or is it both mutual? Like they got to have this sit down conversation with a broker and be like, hey, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I imagine that most of the planning is done outside of North Korea.
Okay. And it's, again, through this network of family or whoever that is saying, I want to get this person out. I want to get Joanna out of there. Yeah.
So, for example, in China, when people want to leave China, so they have already left North Korea on their own, and most of these women, in my experience, have been sold, right? So they're in China. They're kind of stuck in this marriage that they don't want to be in. If they want to leave, it's at the drop of a hat. You have to be ready because
wait, China or North Korea?
In China, okay. But it's the same system.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Because these brokers have to have a group of women that are ready to go to make it profitable for them.
Got it.
To
make it worthwhile.
It's always in groups. So when the group is ready to form and go, they'll call you, and you got to be able to leave at the drop of a hat. And I imagine it's very similar for the North Korean side too.
Okay. All right. So what's the next step? You get the call.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Where are we meeting?
We're meeting at the border. So you have to arrange a meetup point with this broker, this time and place, because as we all know, or as most of us know, the North Korea-China border is militarized and double barbed wire fences, landmines even. I have seen with my own eyes like little concrete structures with holes for guns. What is that called? A turret? No, it's not called a turret. What do you call?
Jay, what is it?
It's like a bunker. It's a bunker, right?
Gun hole.
Yeah, it's a bunker.
Yeah, a bunker. Sorry,
I like my word better.
Turret.
Gun hole.
What's a turret?
Well, it's a turret is what a machine gun is mounted on.
Oh, okay.
So it could technically be both.
Gun hole was right too.
Yeah, gun hole.
All right, we got it. There's a bunch of gun holes on the border.
There's all kinds of surveillance. So you have to. this is where the broker's expertise comes in. They have to know who to bribe along the border so that everyone else is turning a blind eye. A lot of the crossings happen in the winter because the river that separates North Korea and China freezes over.
Let's talk about geography. Hold on. Yeah, I love the picture you're painting. Let's talk about geography. So Jay's got a map up. Listener, if you're listening, pull up Google Maps. Put in North Korea. You will see on the north side border along China. I got this from the internet. It said it's about their border with China and a little bit of Russia there at the end there. And then far northeast is 840 miles long, roughly.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, that's a big border.
It's a big border.
Where is it? Any spot on that border they're jumping out, or like I see two Chinese provinces, maybe three there. But what is that? Liaoning and Jilin.
Yeah,
Jilin.
Jilin covers most of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I'm most familiar with, and I don't know where they're crossing these days, but for the most part. On the north end of the border, like the tip that kind of goes up before you hit Russia, that's where a lot of crossings happen.
Really?
And that's because at that point it's pretty cold there, so the river freezes much earlier there than in the south.
I see. It says literally we need a natural bridge to cross. So this that is way further north on this map than let's say by the Yellow Sea right there.
Yeah,
which is
and
pretty,
and it's very warm.
Mark Pyongyang on that map, Jay. It's like just over the border.
Down.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's a far. I mean, you're traveling the entire North Korean country too.
If you're escaping from Pyongyang, most of the people are escaping from the northern regions.
I get that's true. If you're in the more rural areas, you have a better chance. Again, less minders, less people out there, less jobs, especially for women.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay. That makes sense. But that's so far, like literally.
And it's mountainous too. The terrain is mountainous.
Yeah.
So
it's like if we escaped out of Maine to get to Texas.
Yeah.
Like it's like literally go all the way around to get down to Texas, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, these women are tiny. Like last year, sorry to digress here, but last year we filmed this woman. You know, it was like a day in the life of one of our refugees. We made a video of her. Her name's Kelly. We call her Kelly. Anyway, she's like, I don't know, 90 pounds. And so every day she crosses like this mountain path to get to work from Elam House, our safe house there. And I was called to like hold the camera. I was like, we had to cut all the audio out because I was like, and she like did not break a sweat. Yeah.
Well, she made that journey.
Yeah.
And you're not in great shape.
That
might say more about
climbing,
you than
when
her.
you're climbing elevation, weight really matters.
Understand, but I think that story says more about you than Kelly.
I would never be able to make this
to Kelly.
journey. Yes, Kelly was just, she was in shape.
All right, you get the call. You got to get to this border rendezvous spot that's been... I'm sure they just kind of like tell you like meet me here
at this time. Yeah,
that's okay. Sorry, this is like weird, but I'm sure they know their terrain. But if you're traveling, like if you're in the middle of North Korea, even not in Pyongyang, and you're going up to that point where the river froze over, how well do you know that? Like they don't got Google Maps. How do they know where they're going? Like how do they know where to meet or like how to?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
That is incredible.
Insane. Yeah, yeah.
There's not even Ask Jeeves or. MapQuest. Not even gas station map. You know, like you can't go to a gas station and get a local map.
You got to have it. I imagine there's.
Well, I guess they do have local maps.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that antiquated, but they have maps. But if
Yeah.
you just don't know the area, though, and
It'd be very
this
difficult.
broker sent you a 2-word message saying "Meet me here,"
Yeah.
that I can imagine that's very challenging. I'm sure. I wonder. I would love to know if how many people missed the meeting. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely miss it.
Yeah, I can't even make it to this podcast on time apparently, and I know where it is. Jay would be sunk out of luck. He never shows up half the time. Just kidding, Jay. I love you. All right, You make it. Let's say you make it. You make it to the rendezvous. What's next?
You gotta cross the border.
Well, then there's like, that's the other thing. If you're meeting there, you're probably seeing like a bunch of other people that just are showing up at the same time, and you don't know who's a spy and who's.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it is a precarious situation. So, and there's military all along, right? And I'm sure they're moving in and out of their posts. I mean, there's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh
man. Okay, we made it. So let's say Joanna makes it. She's there.
She crosses the border.
She sees what's the word again? The Chinese.
We'll call them brokers. Yeah.
Broker.
Hwagyo, yeah.
Okay, we'll call them broke. The broke gets there, and we're running now, or we're getting across.
You're getting across.
So he's bribed everybody.
Yeah. Hopefully his plan is solid. You're just totally 100% trusting this person.
But he's got to do the hike too, though. Right? Like he's hiking in?
He's meeting you on the China side.
Oh my God. So you just, okay, that's even worse than on the map thing. Like you're now crossing into China.
Yeah.
You have no idea where you are.
And you're putting this blind faith in this person.
Oh my gosh, how do they know where to go?
I don't know.
How do they know where to go?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I'm sure there's cities, like small towns and cities, and I'm sure they can ask, but that's just wow. Wow.
Do you really want to ask though? Like raise any suspicion?
That's true. Like you have so much risk.
Yeah. In North Korea, you have to have permission to even go to the next town over. So
this is where my childhood strategy of having a suit on you comes to play. You come with a suit on, you say, or hanbok maybe. In that case, you're like, hey, I'm lost right now. Where is so-and-so city? Do you mind giving me directions? Oh my gosh.
They don't ask too many questions. Yeah.
All right.
You cross the border.
Okay.
Now you're in China.
Yes.
The first thing you have to do actually is you have to change, because the clothes in North Korea are different from the clothes in China.
Okay.
It's more, it's a poorer country. So
yeah.
If you dress like you do in North Korea, then you'll stick out.
Yeah.
So you have to change.
Gotta blend in.
Yeah.
So does the broker have clothes waiting?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So that's part of your fee. Your fee is going to a new outfit.
A new outfit.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to change, and then you have to start your journey. And this is where it really helps now, because before, like when crossing borders first started in 2003, they didn't have the broker phase. When you were in North Korea, you had to cross over into China and look for someone to help you escape. And most of these women end up getting sold, right?
Yeah.
So this is the advantage. Like the average wait time for a broker in China was like years and years and years, because you get into all these problems. But now it's like, no, your wait time in China is like days. Because once you hit the ground in China and get changed, you're on the run. Interesting.
So it's like it's almost like a business has sprung up about this.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's money, 20 grand potentially.
Yeah. In
doing this, so as ugly as that sounds,
20,000 per head.
Maybe is a good thing that's developed some in that sense of like creating opportunity for people to get out and not being sold in slavery or worse, sent back to North Korea, right? And I don't know what's worth it actually. It's both terrible options.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's say you connect with a good broker. What are we doing now? Are we staying in China? Like, how long do we stay in China? Do we go directly a flight straight to South Korea?
So
how does that
at
work?
this point, you're probably going to a group of people, right? You're rendezvousing. It's a rally point basically. Of your group is meeting at this and such and such city at such and such time. An apartment is arranged for all of you. You're probably meeting each other, maybe spending one night in that city near the border. And then you're off to the races.
All right. What's the races like? Where are we going to
next? We're going
to
Southeast Asia, right? So before that, though, it used to be Mongolia, right?
Okay.
So the northern route through Mongolia
I see. Yep.
used to be a viable option. It's no longer. If you watch the movie, it's called Crossing. It's a really great South Korean movie about this very journey, right? And their trip was through Mongolia. But if you look at the map, if you look at any map, you could see Mongolia is mostly desert, and it is it's
Mongolia is massive. I didn't realize how huge Mongolia is, but it's huge.
It's really big, and most of it is the Gobi Desert.
Wow.
So, and Mongolia, around 2009, I believe, stopped accepting North Korean refugees. So it's all Southeast Asia now.
Okay, so Mongolia, the road to Mongolia is no longer open.
Yeah.
So you're going down through. Are you going through Beijing then? Like coming
It just
around?
depends. It just depends on what the broker thinks is best at the time.
Okay. So all right. So you're working your way down through China. So now you're basically in civilization. Now you're no longer like hoofing it on like mountain roads or like forests
You're
and
on
desert.
buses, cars, vans,
Okay.
things like that.
So where are you trying to get to? Like, I mean, obviously China is not safe, and it's a huge country you got to get across. Are you trying to get to like Shandong and then like across the LC to South Korea directly? Where do we go?
We're going to different cities. It's a different city for each group, I hear. The route has to keep on changing. And so you're just making your way through China. I don't know the route, but you're trying to get near the Myanmar and Laos border.
Oh, okay. So we're going really southwest then, away from South Korea.
Yes.
Again, the goal here is to get to South Korea because that's where the 20K is waiting for us to repay all these debts for us. Because South Korea government will give this to North Korean refugees or defectors, I should say. But you're telling me they're going to go southwest away from Korea.
You're going the opposite direction. Yeah.
All right. Explain that to me.
Okay, so China is friends with North Korea. They do not want, North Korea does not want China to acknowledge them as people or give them any human rights. So it's very dangerous for a North Korean refugee in China. 70% of all North Korean refugees are women for the reasons that we stated earlier. 80% of all of those women have been sold in China as forced brides. So you want to make your way out of China as soon as possible because there's no acknowledgement that you're even a person in China.
Okay,
literally.
but we're going the longest route possible, though. So explain that to me.
So sorry, that's what you're getting at. So you're going to Thailand because Thailand is the closest country and most accessible. Even though it's not very accessible, it's the most accessible for these people to get to actually receive acknowledgement that you're a human being and you have human rights.
So is the broker assisting in this entire... I'm assuming they are because they don't get the money until you get to South Korea.
The details,
Wow. So that is quite the travel itinerary to get from the northeast corner of China down to the southwest corner to this Myanmar Thailand border.
Yeah.
Holy wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, so in China, you have no rights. And so, as I said, and there's brokers that are nice and good, but there's brokers who are not good people. And I haven't personally encountered these people, obviously, because I've never had to take this journey. But there are people who have told me that these brokers are scumbags. Some of these brokers are scumbags, and they will take advantage of the women, mostly women, right, during their time in China, and they just have to go along with it, right? Even though you're technically getting paid for these services, they know that these women are completely at their mercy.
So let's say they get a good broker.
Yeah.
When we're getting to Thailand, my assumption is if China is in, agreement with North Korea, or at least helping North Korea, they must have some kind of border protection or border screening for Thailand for people leaving China. So how are the defectors getting into Thailand?
Yeah. So Thailand does not border China, unfortunately. If you zoom in on your map there, Laos or Myanmar are the closest countries, and they're not friendly to North Koreans either. So you have to run through rugged terrain, mountainous terrain, basically 100 miles to Thailand.
So this
You're running
Yunnan
an ultra
province.
marathon.
So this Yunnan province here,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they're just cutting straight through between Laos and Myanmar
yeah,
to hit Thailand.
To hit Thailand.
That little cross. Could you mark that, Jay? Just so we can
We'll
see.
have these pictures posted.
Yeah, you guys will be able to see what we're marking here. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what about Hanoi and like Vietnam? Are they not welcoming of defectors?
It's still like Vietnam. It's still like a communist government. They still have ties to North Korea, although they are friendlier to North Koreans than Laos has been. It's not. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good situation there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last after all of this, after all the stress of getting out of North Korea and then now traveling all of China, the last leg or one of the final legs is it's an ultra
marathon.
Oh my gosh!
Through
that answers the question of why Kelly. I mean, there's other reasons why Kelly's more fit than you, but one of the reasons is that she had to do something similar to this.
Yes. Yeah, and I know this woman who had tuberculosis who made this run. She was like,
What?
Almost died, she said.
Wow.
And, unlike, let's say if you're with your family or something, you're not with family. They will leave you behind if you can't keep up. They will leave you behind because it's a matter of survival, right?
Mm.
So if you can't cut it, then you get stuck and you might get caught and sent back to North Korea where you will be executed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the most physically demanding of part of the journey, obviously.
Last leg here is once you get into Thailand, is that just a flight back to South Korea then? Or a boat? How are they getting to South Korea from here?
They're taking a flight from Thailand, but it takes a couple months to process your paperwork. Yeah.
So you stay in Thailand for a few months.
You stay in Thailand. The Korean embassy has places set up for North Korean refugees.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
So Thailand is really the
only
sense of
option.
freedom.
Yeah.
But you're free once you get set foot in Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Are there North Korean minders in Thailand looking for defectors? Are they onto this kind of route?
I haven't heard of that. No, I haven't heard of that. I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so I think I told this story before. One of the refugees that we've worked with in the past said that it wasn't until she got to South Korea where she really felt free. And she held her ID for the first time in her hand and realized, oh yeah, I am a person. And she held that ID all night and she cried.
That is incredible. I mean, you hear a lot of immigration stories throughout the world, right? The Middle East to Europe, South America to the U.S., even Middle East to the U.S. from South America. Like that's an incredible journey in itself, where you're finding people go through South America to come back into the U.S. But like this is when it's a bizarre. Look at this map. You're going from literally Seoul and Pyongyang are hundreds and hundreds of miles away from each other.
Yeah.
But you go in this crazy loop all around Asia to come back to Seoul.
To come back to
a place that was
like 50 miles away from your home country.
Yeah, if you're leaving from Pyongyang, that is an incredible journey.
These people are tough, man.
Wow.
That's all I got to say. And if you ever question the toughness of these people, like they're incredibly gritty and tough.
Well, this is a how-to I'm grateful I'll never have to use or be challenged with doing.
Yeah.
But it is an incredible how-to. And those who have accomplishment accomplish this are even more incredible.
Yes.
But this, I guess, what's amazing to me in the not silver lining, but something that I think about is, again, to your point about human resilience. This trail is the most illogical, impractical trail to take if I'm trying to run away from point A to point B, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, I have the luxury to be ignorant.
Right.
But the fact that human beings have like made this work and made it happen, made it an economy around itself because North Koreans have the boldness and the bravery to do this that is incredible to me.
I agree.
How many miles is that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a lot of miles logged.
That's more miles than Jay's put on his cars.
That's for sure.
Hey listeners, if you're enjoying the podcast or becoming more interested in North Korea, or maybe you're just feeling generous right now, please leave us a review and share it with your people. It'll help us to continue to grow this show and spread awareness about North Korean refugees and all that is going on over there. And it'll also help prove to my Amma that my career choices were right.